Okay.
All right, so
I hope I get this right.
Once upon a time.
you know
So...
what it is?
So then what happened was is that... Oh my god.
God, I forgot everything. I'm making this shit up. Oh! and then that's that.
I hope I got it right.
What's up, everyone? I'm Liza Quin, and in this video, we're bringing you something a little different. I invited 5 fellow Latino comedy creators from Miami to join me in playing a little online narrative telephone game, much like the guys from Critical Role have been doing during this time of social distancing. Except, we gave it our own little spin. The rules, however, if you've seen videos like this before, are exactly the same. See, one creator, in this case me, records themselves telling a story, which is then passed on to the next creator who, after watching it only one time, needs to record themselves retelling this story to the best of their ability in one take. And so on and so on. And after everyone's done, we watch it all back on a Zoom call. And let's just say, after you see how this all played out, you will never trust gossip again. Hello, everyone. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you so much for doing this. I have one thing to say to you guys after watching all the videos. Ustedes son unos enfermos. So you guys have been super patient and wonderful and very funny and massacred the story. So I'm excited for you guys to see it. So here we go. Some time ago in the land of Hialeah, there lived a young man named Hermenegildo Josefe Diaz González de León III. And he was a precocious but shy young man who would often sit on the doorstep eating mariquitas and drinking malta. One day, while doing so, he noticed a new neighbor moved in, and she was the most beautiful creature Edme had ever seen. She had long, flowing, curly brown locks, a perfect complexion, and what he deemed to be tremendo culo. The second he laid eyes on this girl, he knew he would spend his life doing anything to woo her. But young Hermenegildo was penniless and frail, and believed he had nothing to offer this fair lady. So the next day, he set out on a quest to visit the local bruja, Janet C. of the 8th Street. Upon arrival, Miss Janet took one look at him and said, "Okay, who's the jeva?" He was amazed at how she instantly knew. He then replied, "I really want to ask this chick out, yo, but she's too good for me, so I need you to hook it up." Janet C. went on to explain that in order to conquer this woman, she would need to send Herme on a quest for 3 things. First, he was to go meet a friend of hers who sold a magic potion that would help make him big and strong. "He wears the Yuffie on Coroain," she said. "Yuffie?" said Herme. "Yuffie," said Janet. "Oh, you fit," said Herme. "Eso mismo, chico," Janet said. Number 2, he was to go get a job selling grand castles and luxury condos, but also have a side hustle of his choice. And lastly, he would need to get a fancy vehicle from her brother-in-law at Lexus of Tamiami. "Ask for Jose," she said. "But Jose D, not Jose F, because Jose F, he won't give you the best deal." So off Herme went on his quests. And swiftly, he was able to accomplish all 3 things, including the side hustle, but we never found out what that was. It was shady AF. Upon completing his tasks, the new and improved Hermenegildo Josefe Diaz González de León III knocked on the door of his longtime crush, who answered the door right away and said, "Oh my God, Hermenegildo, you look so different, bro," she exclaimed. "You know my name?" he said. "Oh my God, yeah, look at your new car," she exclaimed. "How did this happen, bro?" "Bro," said Edme, "I've done so much to get you to fall in love with me, and now I'm here to make you mine," said Edme. "Wait a minute, bro, I used to think you were cute and all, but now you're just like every other douchey guy in Hialeah, so no thanks." And she closed the door. And so the moral of the story is, just be yourself. The person you long for may just like you exactly how you are. Oh, and also, don't be a sapingo, bro.
Wait, whoever went after her, you had to there's no way.
I still don't remember what you just said. Once upon a time in the land of Hialeah, there was a man by the name of Hermenegildo González Ramirez. He had a very long, much longer name than that, but I don't remember. And Hermenegildo González, he was a very shy man who spent most of his time sitting outside his home eating mariquitas. And he loved Hialeah so much. And it was a common thing to do in Hialeah, to eat mariquitas. Then he noticed Ah, a new neighbor. He noticed every single detail about her. The long, beautiful brown curly hair, the perfect texture of skin. And yes, this is the one for me, he said, but I know. I'm a puny man with no money, and I can't offer much. But then an idea came to him. Aha! I know exactly what to do. I will go and make a visit to the local witch of Calle Ocho, and which is 8th Street, that goes by La Bruja, the name of La Bruja Janet. As soon as he stepped inside the witch store, she knew exactly why he was there. She was like, I know why you're here, bro. You got woman issues. He was surprised. He was like, how do you know, Bruja Janet? He felt so vulnerable and weak, as he always felt every single day of his life. But she goes, no problem. I have the solution for you. The solution is you only got to do 3 things. Number 1 is visit this guy that I know that works in the U-Feet. He was like, the what? The U-Feet? And he was like, oh, U-Fit. He knew better English. And she was like, yes, the U-Feet, and find this potion that will make you strong. He wrote this down. And number 2, become a real estate agent and sell some condos and become rich, super rich, real quick from one day to another. He wrote that down. And the 3rd thing was to buy his first Lexus from Lexus Tamiami or Kendall Toyota. I'm not too sure. And off he went. And he was successful with all these 3 things. He was a recognizable man. He wasn't the same man. Was not the same man that people knew him for in Hialeah. The scrawny, wimpy, skinny, mariquita eating man. No, he was the strong, Lexus driving, millionaire man. And so he goes knocking to the door of his neighbor. She opens the door and wind just comes out of her door with her beautiful long curly hair just flowing, hitting his face. She goes, who are you? He goes, I am Hermandildo Gonzalez Ramirez. He had a much longer name. And she goes, I come here to conquer your heart. She goes, you? You're like just like every single Miami guy. His heart was broken because it was true. She closed the door and off he went. So the moral of the story is be yourself. And stop being a sapingo, bro. I hope I got it right.
I love I hope I got it right. That was awesome. Dude, I just have to say real quick that I love that you did the character voices.
I tried to remember the character voices, and I tried to make it as long as possible to make it sound like cohesive and that I knew what I was saying or doing.
Oh my
The story
God.
was pretty long. I probably forgot half of it, but here we go. Once upon a time in the land of Hialeah, there was a guy named Herman Dildo Gonzalez Ramirez, and he loved living in Hialeah. And he was always in his house comiendo mariquitas. And he would eat mariquitas all day long because el tipo mariquita, okay? It's Herman, with a name like Herman Dildo Gonzalez. Why wouldn't you want to eat mariquitas all day in your house in Hialeah land? Entonces, there was a bruja that showed up, a new neighbor of his, and he noticed that she was fire, people. Fire, hot fire. Black hair, typical, with the thing on top of her head, brujeria. He noticed something weird. Noticed a lot of pigeons inside her house. I think that's right. She was his neighbor. So he noticed through the window, there's a lot of chickens, okay, a lot of ruckus, a lot of noise that was coming over there. So then he went to go knock on her door, and then noticed the wind blowing, and noticed that she is a bruja. So then he hooked up with this bruja in Hialeah land to eat mariquitas, and they had children together, and they made salchicha mariquita love, and they roamed the streets of Hialeah land, and they fell in love. Obviously, Herman was like, how did I fall in love so fast? So he realized that La Bruja did some brujeria to make him, fall in love quicker con la brujeria que ella tiene. So then, him walking in the lands of Hialeah under her spell, he fell deeper and deeper, and she started manipulating him and saying, why don't we take over the land of Hialeah? And God, I forgot everything. I'm making this shit up. So I think the moral of the story is, be careful, las brujas, because they will put a spell on you. And mariquitas are delicious. You should try it. And I'm sorry this is so short, but my comprehension is terrible.
Now I know why the story was so up. It was because of you, Andy.
I know who the guest
Hurricane Andy over here.
I was waiting for you to do it like Arnold Schwarzenegger or like.
Right? And then he was like, and then he was there, and then it was the mariquitas, and then they ate the croquetas, and then they would be,
Oh
yeah,
my God, bro.
Okay. I hope I get this right, because my phone rang. Okay. So there is this guy, and his name was Herman Rodriguez Fernandez de la Rosa. And he was a dildo distributor at the Marqueta in Hialeah. And he was selling dildos to everybody in the community. So one day when he was at his house, he started to smell this aroma coming from a closed window. So he was like, what is this brujeria? So then he looked through his window and he saw this lady next door, and she was cooking cats. And I don't know why she was cooking cats. So he was like, what is this brujeria going on? So he went over there to ask her what was that smell, and she told him that she was making croquetas and empanadas. So he ate one of her croquetas, and then he fell in love with her, and they started dating. And so now he's the king of the dildos of Hialeah, and she is the croqueta bruja queen of Hialeah. And they were dating, and then all of a sudden one day he started to snap out of it, and he was like, okay, I think that she put like a bruja on me, like she put, like a spell on me or something. So he saw a santero, and the santero was like, yeah, somebody put something on you, so you gotta get off. And then oh my God. So he went and he did a couple of sanculitos, and he threw a little bit of Florida water on him, and he lit a couple of candles, and then he broke the spell and realized that he wasn't in love with this bruja. And in fact, the reason why this bruja had so much on him,
Oh my God.
was because he ate her croqueta. He ate her croqueta. I mean, he was eating her croquetas every day. So then, he didn't want to eat her croqueta no more. And then she got mad, and she tried to throw another bruja on him and try to work her brujeria on him. And it didn't work anymore because he was free. So then he went back to the Marqueta, because that's where he worked. He had his store, his dildo store inside the Marqueta, and everybody knew him in Hialeah because of these dildos. And he never saw the bruja again. The end.
Now we know who it is. Oh, you're hilarious.
I don't even know where that came from. Like, whatever the story started as was not the story that I got. And then I don't know what happened. I had a meltdown.
So from there, we have Javi.
All right, so there was this guy named Georgie Cruz, Juan Maria de la Guadalupe, right? He's from Hialeah. He's a dildo distributor in Hialeah. One of the biggest dildo distributor in Hialeah. He has his shop inside of a beauty mall in Hialeah. It's called Come Get It. It's European. And inside this beauty mall called Come Get It, that's where he has a store. Some lady walked in and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a specific pee-pee toy." And he said, "Okay, what it is it? What it is the toy that you wanted?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know, boom, boom, whatever." They started macking, you know, she's a little hot, so he's macking it to her, boom, boom. She goes, "Hey, listen, by the way, I live down the block here. Maybe you can come over and give me, like a one-on-one, like, about all your toys. Like, kind of like, you know how people used to sell knives and Tupperwares? Like that." She's like, "Yeah, sure, fucking cool. For sure." So he goes, gives her the card. She gives him the card. He goes over to her house. When he goes over to her house, he smells, right before he walks in, he smells that she's cooking, right? And what is she cooking? She's cooking cat croquetas. Walks in the house. They start talking, boom, boom, poquito de vinito. He sees that there's no cats. There's just dogs. Confusing, right? That's what I said. So he eats a croqueta. Boom. As he eats a croqueta, he's taking a bite into the croqueta. He looks across the room. And he starts seeing in every corner, there's a bunch of like, you know, saint statues and beads and gokos on the floor and candles. So he's like, "Oh my God, she's a santera." He took a bite of the croqueta, right? And he's like, "Oh my God, maybe she put something in the croqueta. Now I don't know what to do. Maybe because she put a spell on me. She wants to take over my dildo business in the Come Get It stores." So then what did he do? He said, "Stand by." He went to the bathroom real quick. He got one of the dildos and he put brujeria on one of the dildos and the pee-pee toys. He came back outside, said, "Hey," told her a whole spiel on all the pee-pee toys, and then made her pick the pee-pee toy that he put the brujeria in. But, you know, she didn't put the brujeria in his croqueta. In fact, she isn't even a santera. That's not even her house. She broke into the house just to make a good impression on him because she's homeless. And then you know what, man? It's he's been fighting her off ever since. She can't get away from him. The legend is that they're happily ever married in Hialeah. He still owns the Come Get It PP store in the beauty mall in Hialeah, and she still makes croquetas, and then that's that.
I feel like I'm taking a test. I'm over here like, right, Hialeah, Jojo, croqueta, brujeria, right? But then the story, like, it's longer than a minute and 30 seconds, and that's my attention span.
So poor Lynette had to come after all of that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So there's this guy named Georgie Cruz, Juan Maria de las Guadalupes, and he owns one of the top shops in Miami, the dildo shop. So it's located in Hialeah in a beauty mall. When you see it, it will say "Come Get It," so AKA "Come Get It." And one day there was a girl that was walking and to his shop, and she just started flirting with him and stuff like that, and asking, "Hey, you know, I need a specific toy, you know, can you show me around, blah, blah, blah." She actually ended up liking him and stuff like that. So then what happened is that she asked him, "Hey, you know, is it okay if one day, like, you can come to my house and kind of show me all your toys and stuff like that?" And because I guess she wanted to get more involved in using more of these type of toys and stuff. So he went to her house, right? And when he went in, like, he started to smell, like, I guess something smelling good, and it was croquetas. But these were like not the type of croquetas that you think they are. It's not ham or bacalao. It's cat. Cat croquetas, gato, meow. Okay? And, you know, he goes and tries to take the first bite. And then he starts to see that there's literally candles and go-go's and things like that, like around the corners. And he goes like, okay. This house is un santeria house. And this croqueta is gonna have, this croqueta, like she's a santera, like she's trying to like, you know, like put some spells on me. So, he's like, all right, like, I guess she walked out and then he went to the bathroom and, then put brujeria on that in a specific toy and then gave her that specific toy and then she had brujeria. Like I guess they started to play and stuff like that and then put brujeria on her. And then he found out that she doesn't have, that croqueta doesn't even have brujeria. She didn't do that. Cause she didn't own the house. She's homeless. So she went into the house like, because she didn't want to look like she didn't own a house, so she just went into this house that was not hers, and yeah. And bueno, like, and the story is that they lived happily ever after. They're married. She still makes croquetas and cat meow croquetas, and he still owns one of the top shops in Miami.
He was close to your story.
You remembered.
Oh, like, yo, he's speaking Miami. I know what he's saying.
Let's go down the road, like from in order. Josue, when you wrote me, you were like, that was hard. That was scary.
It was scary. It was scary. And I had a little hiccup while I was watching and I had to pause the video because my kids were going crazy.
Really?
Then my phone rang. I'm like, oh my God, I'm forgetting everything.
So my strategy was, as soon as I played the video, I'm starting memorizing everything he said. I'm starting to repeat it over and over. You know, dildo, so Manuel dildo, this and that. And then I started losing it. Then I started losing the concept because I guess I was worried about trying to learn it, repeat it word for word, that ya se me fue.
I like it when Steph is like, she's forgetting the story that she's making up. I'm like,
everyone when they panic looks left.
This was crazy because the same thing, I got interrupted with the phone call and then I don't know what happened with the story. My story was completely different from everybody else's, but it kind of like changed the narrative of things and it got really, really crazy. And somehow it just, why do things always go into like sex topics? Like how we came dildos. We couldn't think of anything else but dildos. Good job, guys. High five. High five.
Guys, I thought that you made it. I thought that you put like the dildo like and stuff. I was like, damn, bro, like this got dirty.
My strategic mind was the same way that Andy, was talking about. All right, I'm gonna listen to key things, key points, right? So I'm inside of 2 minutes and 55 seconds, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I wasn't trying to help the person next after me. I was just trying to survive. It was fight or flight.
Thank you so much for watching this, guys. This was a ton of fun. Thank you to all the collaborators. If you want to watch more videos on this channel, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell, and click here to watch more.
Do it.
I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
So much.
You're
See you guys soon.
Mwah.
Man, so